Hello TikTokers, I am the Christian Relationship Counsellor and I wanted to talk to you today about preparedness, being prepared, and how important it is for us to be prepared. So many of us, we kind of leave things to the last minute and we don't have a contingency plan. And that's like for those of you who driving your car, it's on red and you say, oh, I'm going to wait until I get to the next petrol station. You take that risk. And then when you get to the next petrol station, it's either out of gas or the petrol station is closed or it doesn't exist anymore. You've taken that risk of relying on something you have not prepared for. And what is important and what is wise is to plan in advance, to have a contingency plan. Most of us don't even have a contingency plan. There's no what if. And there should be that what if. What if this happens? What if that happens? And you mitigate against it. And it reminds me of Matthew 25:25, when the 10 virgins, or in some cases the 10 bridesmaids, were invited to see the bridegroom, and they all came with their lamps, and some came with oil, some didn't, some relied on the oil that they had. It's just like, you know, when you're driving and you think, okay, this petrol is going to take me to A, B, C, D and E, and yet if there's a hold up on the M1 or something else happens, there's some other delays, you run out of petrol. This is similar to the 5 foolish virgins or bridesmaids who didn't have enough oil. And so when they fell asleep and they woke up and it was midnight and they said, come on, everybody get ready, the bridegroom is here, they started faffing around and saying, oh look, I haven't got enough oil, can you give me some? Expecting other people to absorb their responsibility and their lack of planning. It's not somebody else's responsibility when you don't prepare. So, of course, the 5 wise bridesmaids, they went inside. They had their lamps, they had a good time. And when everybody was in who was there, the door was locked. So when these 5 foolish bridesmaids or virgins came and started banging at the door, let us in, we've got our oil now, we've got our oil. He's saying, look, I don't know you, because you know what? That is ultimate disrespect. Lack of planning for an important event is disrespectful. And it means you do not think that that person is worthy of your time, not worthy of the planning, not worthy of making sure you have things correct so you can be reliable. Too many people do that. They're not reliable. They're not reliable because they don't give the situation enough thought, and they don't give the situation at hand the respect it deserves. So of course the bridegroom represents Christ. He says, I don't know you. If you haven't got the time to go and prepare to come and see me, forget it, I don't know you. And so they got locked out. So we have to kind of think about what kind of things in our lives do we need to prepare for? What do we need to get ready for? What kind of incidences do we need to have a strategic plan? Some circumstances require a strategic plan, which is a long-term plan. Some need a short-term plan. And some don't need, some just need to, as long as you've got things there and then, that's absolutely fine. You have to know what your contingency plan is if. And you think of all the different scenarios where things could go wrong and you mitigate against it. That shows that you care. It shows you've given forethought. It shows you've given the person respect. Now, I was wondering why they chose the word bridesmaid, why the kingdom of heaven was compared to bridesmaids or even virgins. And bridesmaids technically are there to support emotionally the bride going through the ceremony, helping with the hen night and all that kind of stuff. And so, but many bridesmaids, they like the idea of being a bridesmaid, having a nice dress, being in the limelight, but are they really there to support the bride? And this is another aspect of it. What is your role? Are you there to give of yourself to someone else? And so while they're faffing around and saying, oh, I don't know if I can afford a dress, or I don't know what my hair is going to look like, I don't know how I'm going to do my nails, that time the bride is needing your emotional support. And when they make the analogy, the kingdom of heaven is like virgins. Some say the virgins are synonymous of the congregation. Those who are prepared, those who are knowledgeable, and as opposed to those who are naive and simple. You can be a virgin. Just because you're a virgin and you're untouched by man doesn't mean you have to be unwise. You can know the world, but you're not of the world. So it doesn't mean that just because you're a virgin, you have to be simple. It is all about supporting and making sure that you are ready, aware, knowledgeable. Find out things in advance to safeguard you from any surprises. So what have I got here? Why 10? Why did God choose 10 bridesmaids or 10 virgins? Well, for me, I think it's about contingency planning. And it's just as well, because if he just had 5 and the 5 that he had chosen didn't have their lamps full, then he would have been stuck. He wouldn't have had that support. But by having 10, he deliberately had more than enough. He made sure he had more than enough. So when the time came, when 5 people let him down, he still had 5 he could rely on. So to me, I think that 10 is the contingency plan that needed to be in place. And it's still a part of that planning and preparedness. It's telling you, make sure you have a contingency plan. Make sure you plan for unexpected events. What else have I got here? 5 of them were foolish. I've already done that. Yeah, when the bridegroom was delayed, they became drowsy and fell asleep. At midnight, they were aroused by the shout, look, the bridegroom is coming. Come to meet him. All the brides got up and prepared their lamps. When the 5 foolish ones asked the others, please give some of your oil because our lamps are going out. But the others replied, we don't have enough for all of us. Go to the shop and buy some yourself. Can you imagine? The bridegroom is coming. Now you have to go and traipse, goodness knows how far, for oil, because you didn't have oil in advance. You took the risk and you thought that what you had would last. Your lack of judgment and preparedness is not the responsibility of others. Too many people expect others to bail them out or rescue them before when they fall short rescue them for their short-sightedness. Yeah, a lot of people do that. They're like, I haven't gone through the due diligence of doing my job properly. Can you bail me out? No. People shouldn't be rescuing people who are not on the ball, who haven't done their job properly. So the 5 bridesmaids who went for the oil were locked out. Believe me, I do not know you. Who wants to be acquainted with someone unreliable, who is not equipped even to do the basic tasks? Lack of contingency planning and preparation shows lack of interest, disrespect and disregard to Christ, the bridegroom. What are you indirectly saying is that you are not important enough for me to make the effort for. That's really what you're saying. And then to add insult to injury, they're making a last-minute dash to top up the oil and expect to be allowed in. Is that what your master is worth? A last-minute ditch at trying to get inside, included and involved, when you could not even give him the time of day to make sure that nothing would prevent you from not being relied on? Reliability is important. Responsibility is important. Accountability is important. Planning and preparedness is important. So just make sure God blesses the man or the one who has his own. Make sure you have yours. Don't rely on somebody else for their oil. And this is the Christian Relationship Counsellor. I hope you found this useful. And I think I'll stop it here. Have a good day. Bye-bye.